Tonight, we're taking a closer look at one Missouri man's fight for freedom. Lamar Johnson is spending Thanksgiving behind bars, and there is a good chance that he'll be there for Christmas as well. That's despite the fact that a prosecutor says he's innocent. Investigative reporter Angie Racono explains.
The issue here boils down to legal technicalities. This is the first case in Missouri where a conviction integrity unit took a look at an old case and the prosecutor agreed the person convicted didn't pull the trigger. It was someone else. Believe it or not, this is still a fight, and the justice system is trying to figure out how to free an innocent man.
This is it, that I just have to stay in prison despite what's been found? How is that justice? There should never be a situation where you don't have a remedy. I don't know.
Lamar Johnson has spent more than half of his life in prison, convicted of murdering a friend.
You know, I had to fight all these years. I ain't never even get a chance to mourn somebody because you gotta fight for your own life. And that's been my struggle.
In 1994, Marcus Boyd was shot and killed during a drug dispute on this porch in St. Louis. It was late at night and dark. The masked gunman ran down this alley.
And I just kept saying, I didn't do it, this is where I was.
Johnson says he thought if he cooperated with police, things would get sorted out.
I never expected that this case would go the way that it did, that I would end up charged with it, and much less convicted for it, and would have to be here for the last 20-some years trying to prove that I didn't do it.
After 13 years in prison, Johnson finally got help. An investigator contacted him in a letter. The Midwest Innocence Project agreed to look at his case.
The first letter I got from him was like, well, I need to let you know that if I investigate your case, I'm gonna try to prove that you're guilty. And he said, if I can't prove that to my satisfaction, then I start to try to prove you're innocent.
What do you think about that?
It's emotional for me because I knew that I was gonna be all right then. Because I didn't think that anybody could look at this case and not see what happened.
Johnson says that's the problem. Nobody really focused on the evidence. He has an alibi the night of the murder. It includes 3 people.
I told him, this is where I was, who I was with. You can go talk to him, get my pager records, you can get the house phone records. All of this would show where I was, and it just, I didn't find out until later that none of that was done.
There's no physical evidence connecting Johnson to the crime. He was largely convicted based on an eyewitness who identified him as the masked gunman in the dark.
You could see there's nothing that distinct about my eyes that would be noticeable if I did this at night in the dark with people shooting guns and behind them. It didn't make sense at all, but he sold it.
Shortly after Johnson's trial and before his sentencing, the real gunman confessed and cleared Johnson in this letter. It opens with, Lamar, what's up, dude? That's you got convicted when you didn't do a thing.
And he says who did it, why they did it, how it happened.
All of these problems in this case have been known for years. Recently, the prosecutor's own office started digging around. She discovered that the eyewitness was paid.
What did you think when you saw the checks and the proof that there were payments?
When I saw that, and you can see the payments made to him and the amounts matching the actual payments, and it was like, wow.
Lamar's defense team reached out to jurors to see if that information would have made a difference at trial. Jurors said yes, it would, but the judge criticized those lawyers for contacting them.
How can you have concerns about that, but you don't have concerns about all this other stuff in this case? The payments, the letters, the favors. How could you not have concerns about that, but you have concerns about this one little, it's just, I can't even explain it.
Explaining everything that went wrong in Lamar Johnson's case took Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner a full 70 pages. She doesn't mince her words, using phrases like unconstitutional police investigation and prosecutorial misconduct on the very first page. She ends her summary flat out calling what happened as Johnson's wrongful conviction. There was hope Johnson would be freed based on everything you just heard, but a judge recently ruled the case needs to go to a higher court.
I don't know, if I didn't have hope, if I didn't believe that eventually justice would be done, I don't know what I would do. Maybe I would be a different person, I don't know. But that's the only thing that has kept me going. That's all I got. So just that and faith is believing that God has another plan for me. It's got to have a different purpose for me than to die here. And I believe I believe it's eventually the right thing is going to be done. I have to believe that.
Johnson heads back to court December 11th. The Attorney General is arguing too much time has passed for the prosecutor to ask for a new trial. Johnson's legal team says the real injustice is keeping him behind bars. Surely there needs to be a path for freedom. We'll keep you posted on what the Court of Appeals decides. Angie Riccono, KCTV5 News.